Today, we're going to talk about 3 things your recruiter will never tell you. If you do have a recruiter who told you these things, then I commend him or her for actually being super truthful and upfront with you guys. But I'm going to start with the biggest thing that your recruiter won't tell you, and that is that you can actually quit before leaving for basic training, that you can just back out and not leave for basic training. There's a lot of recruiters out there who will make it seem like you cannot quit before basic training, like you can't decide that you want to back out, that you don't actually want to go. Some people might even go as far as saying that you could possibly go to jail if you don't leave for your ship date, right? So if your ship date is tomorrow and you've been thinking about it for a long time, you've been talking to your family, whatever, friends, and you've decided that it's just not what you want to do anymore, then you don't actually have to go. The reason your recruiters are more than likely not going to be telling you this is because a lot of people just get cold feet, they get nervous, they're not 100% sure on their decision before they go to basic training, and there will be people who will quit, and so they want to lower that number by not actually telling them, hey, if you want to quit, if you have second thoughts, you know, you don't actually have to go. So they're not going to tell you that because they don't want to put that thought in your head. But you know, some of the recruiters that will go super far and say like, hey, if you don't go, you're going to go to jail, or say you can't quit, you actually have to go. That is definitely not true, and your recruiter's not going to tell you that. The other thing that kind of piggybacks on this idea is, I believe you have 6 months after your initial enlistment to quit out of the military without any kind of bad repercussions or anything. But after those 6 months, you know, after, you know, a year of being in the military, you can't just be like, oh, okay, I quit, right? If you are within that threshold, if you're at basic training, if you're at AIT and you're within that 6-month threshold, then you can theoretically just say I quit and then go home. It won't be that fast, right? It will take a long time if you are at basic training and you just say I quit, I want to go home. But it is possible, okay? So it is possible, and I want you guys to know that because it is definitely something some people think is true, the fact that they might go to jail if they don't ship for basic training. So it's something to keep in mind. And I am of the mindset, I am under, the way I think about the military is that it is not for everybody. It is something really great. It has been beneficial to me, and it's been beneficial to millions of people, right? But I don't think that the military is necessarily for everybody. So if you legitimately don't think it's for you, then I'm all for and perfectly okay with you not leaving for your ship date. If you really think it's not something you want to do, maybe you're peer pressured into it or whatever, or maybe you just don't feel like you should do it, it's just something for you to keep in mind. The second thing that your recruiter is not going to tell you is that if you don't get airborne on your contract, it is not as easy as they make it out to be to get airborne after you're done with your initial training. When you talk to your recruiters, a lot of times they'll make things seem super easy in the military, like, oh, if you want to do that, you know, you're fine, you don't have to get that on your contract, you'll be able to do that for sure, right? Oh, you want to go to this post, that'll be super easy. Oh, you want to get airborne? All right, well, we don't have to have that on the contract, you can do that once you get to your unit. Once you get to your unit, you'll be able to go to airborne school, no problem, right? That is definitely not true, and they're not going to actually tell you how much more difficult it could be. Yes, you can go to airborne school after basic training in AIT, but it's not going to be as easy as they make it out to be. They make it out to be super simple. I know they kind of convinced me not to get airborne in my contract, and then they made it out to be super simple that I was going to get to go to airborne school after AIT. Wasn't that way. It's not that way for the most part. The only ways it's going to be super simple for you to go to airborne school after AIT is if you go to a unit that is an airborne unit. If you just happen to go to a unit that's, you know, for example, that 82nd Airborne, it is a very good chance that you are going to be able to go to airborne school if you want it, right? But if you just happen to go to a unit that doesn't have an airborne slot available, so they don't have a position for an airborne soldier, then it's going to be hard for you to actually get that, right? You might have to wait months or even years to where you are available, or position is available for you to go to airborne school. So one of the things your recruiters won't tell you is that it is not as easy as they make it out to be to go to airborne school after AIT. One thing that your recruiter will never tell you, and they definitely didn't tell me because I had no clue about this. It may not be the biggest thing in the world, the biggest deal in the world. It may never even, you know, make a difference in my military career. But every one of you who are signing up for your military service right now, who are signing that contract at MEPS, you're going to be signing essentially an 8-year contract. It doesn't matter if you're going to be doing 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever. You're going to see a number on there that just says 8 years of service, right? And I was kind of told to ignore that. Didn't know what the heck it was, wasn't sure at all. But what that is you're actually signing up for 8 years of an obligation to the military, to where once your initial active duty or reserve contract is over, so if you sign a 4-year active duty contract, you're actually going to be signing that 4 years plus an additional 4 years that will be on the IRR status. So you'll be an inactive ready reserve status. And basically what that means is the military can call you back from IRR status to active duty status at any time, right? Now, it is not really that likely that they will do that. During the Iraq War in the past, like 10 years or so, they've done that to like a couple of thousand people, but it's not going to be like the most likely thing that they're going to do. You know, maybe here in the future, if we actually go to like a big old full-on war, they might call a couple of people back. But again, I wouldn't worry about it too much, but it's definitely something interesting that was never mentioned to me from my recruiter. Why didn't they tell me that? Why didn't they actually explain to me what I was doing? Because I was signing a 6-year contract in the Army Reserves, and there was an additional 2 years there. Whether or not it comes into play, whether or not I actually just keep on going in my military career, and that won't even matter, those extra 2 years. But it's just something that if you're a recruiter out there, like, you need to explain some of these things to the soldiers, the future soldiers that you're talking to, because they're not going to be understanding everything. So for all of you guys out there who are about to sign a contract or have already signed a contract, just know that that 8 years of service is going to be what you're going to be signing up for every single time, and that is called IRR status, inactive ready reserve. So that is 3 things your recruiter will never tell you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty interesting video topic, so if you did enjoy it, hit that like button. That would be awesome. If you want to check around some more of my military related videos, some of my vlogs even, you can hit that subscribe button. That would be really cool. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, comment section down below. Social medias are right here, I think. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.